With the celebration of Super Mario's 40th anniversary kicking into high gear, Nintendo has fans reminiscing on the good old days of Jumpman's past. Zoning in on Mario's adventures into space with the Super Mario Galaxy series, we got a physical version of Rosalina's Storybook, a brand new Super Mario Galaxy movie on the horizon, and completely reasonably priced ports of 2 games that are almost old enough for me to be friends with, and it won't be weird. With all this cosmic commotion going on, it's easy to see why people have been wondering if Nintendo has even more festivities planned in regards to Mario's trek to the stars, with the possibility of a 3rd entry in the Super Mario Galaxy series seeming more and more likely. But I'm not really interested in if we get a new entry. Some dork with a in stats could do that. I'd rather talk about what the game would even play like. How would Nintendo craft a modern day Mario Galaxy game? Before I really get into what I think we could see out of a sequel like this, I'm gonna lay down some ground rules. First off, I'm not really gonna go into like insane amounts of detail and like a well thought out structure. Now, that'd be wasting both your time and mine, because if I did that, I might as well just make the damn game myself at that point. And for free? Nah, hell nah. Besides, keeping it fast and loose will leave more room for you and I to have engaging discussions. I just want to get people thinking about this game conceptually. With that said, I'll be focusing my points into 4 categories of major aspects of the game. But yeah, let's get into it. These past few years, we've seen Mario get his hands dirty and his pants chafed in the sandbox style of 3D platformers with games like Super Mario Odyssey and, to a slightly lesser extent, Bowser's Fury. And I think this could be a great opportunity to slightly deviate from that newly set precedent in order to not only stay true to what Super Mario Galaxy as a series represents, but also add to what it can offer in 3D Mario's catalog. And I want to preface this by saying I don't think we should get rid of the new ideas modern 3D Mario games have worked so hard to bring forward, but more so just reel it in a bit in favor of exploring other ideas. Okay. What am I changing about Mario's kid? I'm giving him a dive, but not just any dive. This is the spin dive. While in the air, Mario will torpedo himself forward much like a traditional dive, but the beginning of the move will have a hitbox. Think of it like DKB's roll punch, for example, just a little bit less lenient. On its own, this is pretty much just a normal dive, but it has another use. If you continue to hold a direction after touching the ground, Mario will do what I call the hop step. By utilizing the power of the cosmos with the help of Mario's companion, Luma, Mario will continuously hop step in any direction the player is holding, given that he touches the floor and is able to use a pivot foot to do so. If for whatever reason you can't control your footing, or you are heading towards a pit and don't have time to turn around, you can cancel your momentum with a spin. This new movement option gives Mario a more consistent mode of quick traversal than just stiffly long jumping to different places, while also adding a little element of trickiness to the ability that will favor mastery of the controls in order to get objectives done quickly and efficiently. I also really like the idea that Mario, Jumpman himself, is literally jumping across planets. Hop stepping also has one more function. When interacting with walls, Mario will automatically be launched off the wall and perform a wall bounce. You can do things like chain a spin and then wall kick and then spin again. But if Mario gets in between 2 walls that are close in proximity, he'll repeatedly bounce back and forth up the walls. With this, Mario will be able to reach high places more quickly and easily with his cosmic abilities by literally bouncing off the walls. That's right, I gave Super Mario ADHD. Now that we've gone over Mario's biggest change in movement, let's spice up some of his older moves. You remember that dinky little crouch spin that Mario had? Well, now it has a new property. It performs a homing spin attack. When hitting an enemy with the crouch spin, it will spin out into nearby enemies and cause a chain reaction. Also, I gave the spin dive the same property at the beginning of the dive, but that's kinda hard to pull off consistently, so why not show some love to an otherwise completely cosmetic part of Mario's base Galaxy kit? Moving on, Mario now has access to his spin jump. You know how this works. You spin the stick in a circle, Mario plays Simon Says. Hey, congrats on getting the world record in the Nintendo Switch stick drift category, brother. I'm proud of you. But what's cool about this spin jump in particular is that just spinning in a circle will charge up cosmic energy. Using the spin button, damn, that's not spinning, Mario releases a small shockwave of cosmic energy around himself. Seem familiar? Now hold on, stay with me now. I'm also gonna give him the ground pound jump. That's it. Just the ground pound jump. I like it. It's pretty fun. 10 out of 10 would pound again. Everybody loved the addition of cosmetics that Odyssey brought to 3D Mario game. And there's such an easy and fun way to incentivize players to explore and collect things that they otherwise wouldn't. I also really enjoy how in DKB they took that a step further by giving them stat bonuses. That's pretty cool. Don't bring over the hair dyeing though. I don't think I'm ready to see blonde-haired, blue-eyed Mario anytime soon. Kindly refrain. The real question is, how would we even go about buying these cosmetics? What's the currency? Well, we could just use boring regular coins, or we could take a page out of Super Mario Galaxy 2, with the easiest way to get cosmetics in the game would be to collect comet medals. Just throw a bunch around the map and call it a day. And outside of comet medals and star bits, I don't really see more of a reason to add another form of currency like purple coins, because that seems like a bit much. I think that'd also indirectly make regular coins obsolete. Starbits could easily be Mario Galaxy 3's purple coins, which would give them more value and have the player wrestle with whether they want to get a new cosmetic or feed a hungry Luma instead and grind for costumes later. In the previous games, by the time you beat the game, you'd have gotten way more starbits than you'd ever know what to do with. Mario is a multi-millionaire in this game, dude. He's going to need to pay some more taxes. I think making the starbits more valuable would also make the bank toad from SMG2 actually useful if we brought him back, which will let you budget your currency and it'd serve as a reminder of the current state of the world and the little sacrifices we have to make every day. But with this, we could save the comet medals for summoning comets like it did previously. Also, starbits and or coins could let you buy hints to locations of comet medals and power stars. So now the shop Lumas will have more stuff to sell you. It could also add a free hint mechanic like how Odyssey tells you the name of the moon but not exactly where to get it too. Maybe when you run into Captain Toad's crew, the blue toad could give you a hint like he does in Odyssey, except it's free this time. Something like that. Alright, now let's talk about the most valuable collectible in the game, the power stars. With Mario's newfound abilities, he needs room to be able to put them to work. I suggest we keep the main power stars as they are. Big, grandiose showcases of Galaxy's core elements with major platforming challenges, but with a bit of a modern twist. Now we'll have Super Mario Galaxy style story missions with power stars, as well as Odyssey style green power stars that deviate from the main path. I'll get into more detail about these in the next section, but first, let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas for how collecting stars would function. I really wanted to try and go a slightly different route without just doing Super Mario Odyssey 2, Electric Boogaloo, now with all new Rosalina mode.
Oh, goody!
So please, tell me what you've got cooking up in that big beautiful brain of yours.
Whoo! Yeah!
Alright, this is where I said reel it in a bit in favor of exploring other avenues comes into play. I propose this would be the best way to modernize the formula, which is story-based power stars that don't kick out of the level anymore, and instead function as Odyssey-style checkpoint moons that open new planetoids or areas of the galaxy. Alongside that, green power stars will appear that are often off the beaten path with smaller, more contained challenges that you can choose whether or not to engage with. The only caveat being that green stars aren't as powerful as regular power stars, so you'll have to collect more of them in order to substitute a power star for progress. This lets more exploration-driven players choose which galaxies they want to invest in, exploring and being rewarded by being able to get away with not exploring galaxies they probably aren't that interested in.
Dude, aren't you literally just making Odyssey 2 even though you just said you didn't want to do that?
Not really. Walk with me here. We can differentiate what a modern Super Mario Galaxy game could be as opposed to a 3D Mario like Odyssey through this analogy. Super Mario Odyssey is like a state fair. It's a bunch of activities that are all in one place, all at one time, so you can have fun doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Things like ring toss, catching goldfish, eating fried whatever that is. Or shooting gallery. Also, we really never got an actual shooting minigame or level concept in SMG. I guess the cannons, sure, but like they didn't even make a mini boss where the enemy stun from starbits would do anything. That's kind of wild to me considering they made this whole mechanic for like the smaller enemies and stuff like that. Anyway, Super Mario Galaxy as a series has been much more of an amusement park. Everything is connected, sure, but every single ride has its own themes, layouts, and gimmicks. They're more loosely connected. Sure, every now and then you might do other things like stop at a gift shop or buy some snacks, but we all know what the main attraction is. This is how I view each solar system in the Galaxy games. Pretty much every level select will have you pick between galaxies that have literally nothing to do with their neighbors. Which honestly kind of makes sense, a galaxy is fucking huge. But I think the easiest comparison to make here is that it'd be more like Bowser's Fury. When Bowser's Fury came out, it sparked discourse among man-children all over Twitter at the time, and even to this day, people still talk about it. They were calling it the future of 3D Mario because of the way it had seamless transitions between levels and an intuitive item hotbar system that finally blended the traditional Mario style of power-ups with the gameplay of a 3D Mario platformer that sucks you right in. And that's basically what I'm pitching for Super Mario Galaxy 3. It should carry the torch that Bowser's Fury lit and go down the same path. Another minor aspect to note is that since there's time power-ups in Super Mario Galaxy, if you opt to not remove the timer this time around, then the item hotbar would make a lot more sense, especially considering you could store a few items that would make for a lot more engaging puzzles, a la DK Bonanza transformation. Man, I love that game. The only difference between these two games now is that instead of going on vacation to Furry Lake, Mario's in the bathroom at the Boom Boom Bar snorting Stardust so we can fly high.
Yeah.
I think this could truly mark the end of the current understanding of 3D Mario we have. With the way games like Bowser's Fury and even Mario Kart World are pushing the flagpole, it's easy to come to the conclusion that the next brand new 3D Mario game will likely have no world system and will just have a giant, truly open world that takes the sandbox to the beach, dumps it out, and says, "This is your sandbox now."
Tell them to bring out the whole ocean.
To me, it would be smart to have a one last hurrah of a game that encapsulates the era that modern 3D Mario has cemented for the past decade plus, with one of Nintendo's most iconic sub-series from that era. Especially since it's looking like the next big 3D Mario is going to set a completely new precedent.
Hey dude, shut up real quick. Something crazy just happened. Look at this.
This just in, Mario Galaxy's beloved level select menu was found dead in an alleyway at around 8 this morning with multiple gunshot wounds. Police have confirmed that they have no suspect at the moment, but do have a potential lead as they have found evidence of a motive. Bullet casings collected from the crime scene have been examined, containing words engraved on the sides of them with the phrase "death to all load times." If you or someone you know has any information that could assist police in solving this murder, then please report to your local authorities. Please stay tuned for any updates. That's all for now. This has been AA Dan Davis with Ground Channel News signing off.
Oh no, that's just so terrible that happened. I hope they bring the shooter to justice. Can't say I'm really gonna miss him though. I mean, he was kind of a weird guy. Evidence shows he was hanging around a lot of early access games.
Yeah, some were still demos when you met him. Shit's crazy.
Yep. It's a terrible day for rain. But the level select menu won't be making a return because now that SMG3 is going to be Bowser's Fury's spiritual successor, there's simply no need. I nepo babied his son into becoming the world select though, so his family doesn't go into generational debt because I'm a good person.
Blaze me. Polish this, Willie.
I also just kind of semi-promoted the level select because it's basically the level itself now. Each galaxy will have multiple launch pads that are different from typical launch stars. These launch pads will allow you to set a destination marker, and with the power of your companion Luma, the Luma will turn into a launch star and slingshot the both of you out into open space. In this open space, you'll encounter various hazards along with green star challenges scattered throughout them. These will serve as optional pit stops between galaxies. I think you could be able to have both regular launch stars and launch pads, maybe a system where specific launch stars are like keys to different planetoids. Things like Hungry Lumas, and a system where you can see planetoids in the distance but they're locked by cosmic walls would be interesting. You'd have to look on other planets for things that let you unlock some kind of supercharged launch stars that can break through and act as a key. You could bring back the launch star chips this way and also lock the launch stars behind enemies guarding it like in previous games. Once you've explored enough galaxies and collected enough power stars, you'll be able to break through the cosmic wall towards a boss galaxy and head towards the Grand Star with an all-new Starship Mario. And speaking of cosmic walls, I want to introduce a brand new enemy to the game. Well, kind of. This is the Nebuma. It's a Luma that's been corrupted by Bowser's magic. Its name is a mix between Luma and Nebula, if you didn't catch it the first time. These are clouds of gas in outer space that would serve perfectly as a space-themed barrier of entry for boss levels. And it's fun to say. Sakurai'd say it like he did when he talked about magma and lava in the Steve Direct.
Magma, Yogan. Magma, Yogan.
I'm also going to bring back the Comet Observatory, which I'll get into why in a bit, but I want to talk about what changes about the observatory gameplay-wise first. The domes from the previous games now act as challenge stages. When you collect enough power stars and grand stars, you'll be able to power up more of the ship, which will unlock the domes like before. Except now, instead of having new galaxies, these rooms will house challenge stars for you to collect. It could be that this is where you put to use your comet medals to buy challenge comets for galaxies, or you could even have the comet medals buy you access to retro galaxies that have been remixed from previous entries. You can have your Cosmic Mario races and one-hit challenges and speedruns housed here. The speedrun levels could get a lot more challenging with the movement I mentioned earlier too. It could go either way for me, but let me know in the comments which one you'd rather have, or if you have another idea for what the domes could be used for now. I think the idea of SMG3 having another Rescue Princess Peach through space shtick is fine. They can keep it simple, sure, but where's the fun in that? What if we had to save a different princess or Bowser's big meaty claws? The story could start where it always does. The night of the Star Festival. Mario gallivants towards Peach's castle, chatting with the local toads and enjoying the festivities. Once Mario was able to meet up with Peach, they start chopping it up. You know, Mario starts doing his thing, being a good friend or whatever. Not like Luigi though. Real eaters get statues erected in their likeness.
Oh, yahoo!
Suddenly, their reunion is cut short by a mysterious bright light in the sky. The light descends from the sky, only to reveal a distraught Princess Rosalina along with a young Luma. She pleads for the help of Mario and friends to help save not only the Mushroom Kingdom, but the entire universe from Bowser's plan to rule over it. As she explains the situation, Bowser's fleet emerges as he was following close behind. Afraid, the young Luma runs to hide behind Mario. Bowser then declares that he's going to be the king of the universe, but he won't be able to do that with Rosalina getting in his way. One last time, he presents Rosalina with the option to join him as his right hand, but she shoots him down. Bowser, now bubbling with rage, orders Rosalina's capture. And with Kamek magic, he promptly steals her away with his fleet retreating into the night sky. Once the fleet is out of sight, the young Luma retires its cover and begs for Mario and his friends to help him get his mama back. Mario and Peach agree without hesitation. The young Luma then instructs Mario to follow him back to his mama's ship, the Comet Observatory. The Luma transforms into a launch star and slingshots the two of them out to set up a base of operations. Once they land, Mario notices the ship is dark and almost completely devoid of life. It barely has any power, with only a few Lumas left wandering aimlessly along the deck of the observatory. The only things on the ship that have any power left are the few sputters from the observatory's reactor and an old starship that was docked at the landing pad. After assessing the damage, Mario and Luma invite Peach, along with other Mushroom Kingdom representatives, on board. While Peach and friends are setting up shop on board, Mario and Luma set out to find power stars to power the observatory in the old starship. With that, our heroes embark on a quest to save Rosalina and restore balance to the universe. Yo, you stayed for the whole video. Thanks, I appreciate it. Go ahead and drop a like and subscribe if you like the content. And if you'd like to see more stuff like this in the future. Who knows, if I start getting checks from this, maybe I'll be able to afford a mic that doesn't sound like I'm talking out of a funny muffler. I know this is my first ever video, period. But trust me, I've got some ideas I'm cooking up hot and ready just for you. Also, I stream on Twitch sometimes, so swing by and chill. I'll be posting highlights from there over on my other channel, AAA Bats Live. Alright, that's about it for me. Remember to keep the energy up. Peace.